networks that these hotspots and all these repeaters are connecting to, and give you kind of like a brief overview of what's going on with some of these networks. My hope is that you guys, as you'll see what's available to us as amateur radios in this space, and how big of a universe we have available to us. And the one thing that I want to talk about first, before we ever get started, is, you know, like I say all the time, I said you got to go to radioid.net and get you a DMR ID. Without one of these, you can't do anything. Okay, so make sure you get you a DMR ID so that you can play in this sandbox. All right, so what I want to talk to you briefly about is networks. And you've probably heard me say in the past, you know, we set these sky bridges and the things that we do here on what's called Brandmeister. And Brandmeister is just one of many networks that are available to us, and it's one of the biggest ones actually, but we have access to quite a few. And I want to, for a moment, show you what other networks are available, because what I'm going to do in application with your AnyTone is I'm going to help you import a talk group list, or go get a talk group list of a specific network so you can put in your AnyTone. And so what you have is, and this is not going to be all inclusive because there's just a lot of these networks, and I'm also going to show you where you can go see these networks. But basically you've got Brandmeister, that's one network. You've got another network out here called TGIF. They're pretty big. And I think you have another one called DMR Plus. Okay. DMR Plus seems to be a network for a lot of high terror repeaters connected. And then you've got, didn't make enough room, but then you got this early adopter was DMR Mark. Okay. And I'm not certain about DMR Mark, but I do know there's a lot of small networks out there that are built around the Mark framework, and they're called C bridges, or TLNet as we call them, but they're basically private networks that a lot of guys have created, where they've linked a bunch of their Moto Turbo repeaters together. So for each one of these networks, you have a bunch of talk groups for that network. Okay, Brandmeister has a talk group list, TGIF has their talk groups. Okay, DMR Plus, a bunch of talk groups. And then of course you can create a bunch of talk groups over here as well. Okay, now as I understand it, these talk groups, there might be some commonality. Like it seems like the Parrot 9990 talk group number, they seem to all have adopted that. I think that's safe to say. But if you recall from the previous video or live stream we did, I was hand cranking into the code plug talk groups. I went out to the master list and I saw a few talk groups that I wanted to talk on, and then I added them to into the CPS file. Okay, and it's very, very tedious to do this. So I was just going out and fetching them, but there are places where you can go find these, and I'm going to show you that and then put that in to the radio so that it'll save you a ton of time. So we've got Brandmeister, TGIF, DMR Plus, DMR Mark, and if I can jump into computer real quick, I'm going to show you where you can see all these networks for your hotspot. Now, keep in mind, this is for hotspot. It might be your repeater that you're talking on is already connected to a network. There's a Brandmeister's put, there's a lot of repeaters all over your city that might already be connected to Brandmeister. There might be some repeaters connected to TGIF. So those are typically fixed on a network. So unless the system operator's done some cleverness in terms of linking multiple networks together, and it gets pretty complicated, but I don't want to get into that right now. I just want you to be mindful of the fact that there are repeaters, hotspots, and they're connected to various networks. Now, what's cool about what we're doing here with the hotspot, and this is what gives you a lot of freedom, is that you can connect this hotspot to virtually any network you want. And I'm going to show you in the Pi-Star setup where you can fetch this. Okay, so you want to go to the configuration here. Okay, and if you recall, most of these are Pi-Star, Raspberry. I did not change that. Okay. I don't ever save that. Okay. So down here, you're going to see what's called DMR Master. Okay, and if you pull this drop-down menu, you can see all these servers. Okay, now there's a lot of Brandmeister servers, but then you've got this DMR Gateway, DMR 2 ISF, DMR 2 NXDN. These are the networks, okay? DMR Plus, IPSC, which stands for IP Site Connect, various places. TGIF network, that's a big network, okay? And you can go to their website and check and see all the activity. This HBEA, I'm not sure, I think that stands for homebrew, but I don't know, I've never been on one of those, okay? But these are the networks that you can potentially connect to with your hotspot, okay? And where we focus here on when we set up a hotspot, we put you guys on Brandmeister to start with, okay? And you see these are 3 servers for the United States. And they all tie in with the Brandmeister network, and that's prefaced by the BM, okay? So again, 3101 seems to be the East Coast, 3102 is the Midwest, 3103 is probably west of the Rockies. And so we're going to keep it at 3102, okay? So the hotspot's set up, we're on the Brandmeister network. Now, if we go into the CPS, and I'm going to talk to you about this talk group list, okay? And I'm also going to, let's see, right click on this to, and I've left everything just like it was last time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, I remember I updated my firmware to 121, and I got 121 in as a CPS. So I want to go ahead and read from the radio. I don't want to, let's see, yeah, I'll go ahead and read the contact list because we imported that last time. That was all those DMR IDs. And by the way, somebody mentioned last time about the serial port and that maybe we could speed this up. I did go look into that, and I did change the baud rate on the serial port. It is a virtual COM port. I changed it to 115.2 just to try it. I didn't notice any improvement in the speed in terms of extraction and dumping into the radio. I think what's going on with the CPS is that when they they set the COM port baud rate in the program, and I think they override what's in your Windows setup. That's my best guess on that. Just as a developer myself, I think that's what they're doing. So they tend to override what's already there. Anyway, I'm reading all this into the radio, and that'll take a moment. So while I got your time, while we're doing this, I'll speak to the hotspot, and just want to emphasize to you guys that the potential for what you can do with this hotspot in terms of enhancing your experience in amateur radio is really cool. It's virtually unlimited. You can connect to all kinds of different groups, talk groups that are on there. And a talk group is nothing more than a collection of either repeaters or hotspots all in a little network. Some of them are static, and that means they're already set up. So if a talk group's set up, it might have a bunch of repeaters in the talk group, and then with your hotspot, you can dynamically join that talk group, and it'll stay connected to that talk group until you either disconnect or connect to another talk group. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's if you if you join to a talk group and then join another one, the other one will leave you after 15 minutes. I believe you're automatically disconnected. Otherwise, it'll stay connected. And sometimes you guys have seen that when you turn off your hotspot and you turn it back on or move it, it automatically, you're back to that same talk group again. And that's because it remembered where you were. And that's oftentimes why you want to put, hit the disconnect, which is a channel you create for your hotspot. Yeah, this takes a while. I apologize for the delay. So I'm going to show you how to import a predetermined talk group list, okay? And while this is importing, I'm going to have you guys go to our website to pull that off because I'm going to get this ready. So go to our support page, and courtesy of N6DMR Dwayne Reese, we have a Brandmeister talk group list that we set up, okay? Now keep in mind, this is current pretty much as of about a month ago. These talk groups, they do add them every now and then, but it stays pretty steady, but they do add some here and there as more and more people join the family. So if we click on this, we're going to pull in a CSV file that we'll be able to use with our AnyTone, so we don't have to type in all these talk groups for the channels we want to create. So what I've done here is I've got this link. It says talk groups for Brandmeister, and yes, use at your own risk, okay? So I'm going to click this, and this should download this CSV file for import later, okay? So I'm going to open this in the folder. All right, there it is. Talk groups, BM, Brandmeister, and that's Dwayne. Dwayne, you guys might know him, N6DMR. He works with us. Okay, so let's check the status. Still pulling in the contact list. Okay. And so while that's happening, I can't do anything there. And then what I'm going to do, just to kind of give you a preview, is after we get this, I'm going to have you guys, I'm going to show you where to set up a Brandmeister account. And by the way, I've never done that yet, so I'm going to do that on the fly here for you, okay? So in a moment, I'll answer some questions. Is it possible to scan talk groups? Yes, it is. You can scan your hotspot. One way to do that is to create a button on your radio called talker alias, and what that will do is it'll allow for you to unmute on any activity that comes across your hotspot. So that's one way to do that. So you won't be scanning frequencies. You'll be listening for activity on the channel you're on, and the radio can unmute on either one or both time slots. And that's a setting in the radio, okay, in the optional settings. And oftentimes I'll put I'll set one of these keys up for that. And that'll allow for you to effectively scan what's happening on your channel. All right. Okay, so again, you got to get your DMR ID. You've got Brandmeister as a network we showed you. The TGIF network is one that's popular. DMR Plus. Some DMR marks or IP Site Connect functions, and also excuse me. Some guys, they'll set up their own networks that aren't on that list. Okay, the other day I was able to set up an MMDVM for a private network, and there's a way to go in, and as long as you know the IP address of that server, then you can put that in as a network that you want to connect your hotspots to. So that list is just what they know about. So it's only, you're seeing the most popular ones that they've actually put a an alpha tag for. But you're not limited by those in any way, shape, or form. All right. Looks like I've got it here. It should populate here. I hope. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, you guys are actually seeing the real deal. I mean, this is what you guys will do when you're working with your radios. I mean, sometimes it can bog down, it seems, but we're live, so I brought in all the contacts that I imported last time. Okay, and those are the channels. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to import that contact talk group list. I'm sorry, I want to import the talk group list. Okay, you can see right here, these are the talk groups that I did last time. You'll note I made one for the worldwide, which is 91, a Parrot, Texas, and then the disconnect. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go up to Tools, and I'm going to go to Import, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, and then you want to go down here where there's a field that says talk groups. So I want to import this from a file, and there's that file, that CSV file. Okay, and I want to import this, and then I'm going to show you the effect of that. So I'm going to bring this in, and these are all the talk groups that we, at least here at BridgeCom, what we know about. It's not saying it's complete. I can show you where you can get a complete list, because I think there's like 1,547 of them as of this video. So here you are. You can see here's all the talk groups that are available to us. Okay, so I could go make a channel from these talk groups. And it looks like there's some funky characters in there, which I don't know what that is. So let's just take, for example, let's just create a channel real quick. Talk to another state. Let's see this. Yeah, you can kind of see what's going on. These are all the talk group names. Some of them you'll never use, but these are what the Brandmeister folks have made for us. Okay, so I'm going to stay in North America, and those generally have the 3,000. And there is a file. We'll put it in the show notes about how these talk groups are numbered. There is a method to the madness for these guys. Okay, here seems to be the states. Okay, so I live close to Kansas, so I'll put the Kansas talk group in. So that's going to be, where is Kansas? Right there. Okay, so 3120. Okay, so now I'm going to go create a channel for my SkyBridge. Okay, I'm going to copy a previous one, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, now this is where I'm going to call this SkyBridge Kansas. Okay, and I'm going to go to the contact list, and that's going to pull up all of these talk groups that are on Brandmeister. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here and find Kansas. Maybe. There's Kansas. Okay, here's a neat little trick. Up here in the upper right corner, you can click on it, and it'll actually show you the talk group number. Okay, just left click one time, and it'll actually populate it with the number, so you can actually see what the talk group number, and it says it's a group call, so it provides a little bit of intelligence. So I'm going to left click on that and make that the contact for this particular channel I'm making. Okay, and I'm going to leave everything alone. I know it's color code 1, slot 2. I'm going to click OK. So I just created a new channel. Now remember, you got to go to the zone and add it to the zone, because I got my SkyBridge zone. Okay, and now I see down here available to me, I have SkyBridge Kansas. Okay, So I can go and put that in my zone. And then I can write it to my radio. And I'm not going to write the contact list. Let me make sure I pressed, yeah, write to radio. And I don't want the contact list, that'll take all day. It's already in there. So I'm just going to write this to the radio. But just to review, you can go to our website, download the talk group list. That's a pretty current list. We will be updating that, you know, as we see, you know, some changes being made. But don't, I mean, it's not all inclusive. I don't think it's up to date to this very day. And there are other places where you can go get this talk group list as well. So I'm just showing you right now what you can do, and this is where you get it. And the purpose of it is to save you a ton of time. In the event you want to create your own code plugs. Okay, so I now know that the I've got Skybridge, Kansas. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, I got my channel there. I put it in the whoops. I got my, I don't know if you can see that, Joe. Okay, so I got that channel. It's in the Skybridge zone. But before I do that, let me hit the Parrot KC0QVT.
I get around the world very well. Your line to the central is,
I'm on worldwide from last time.
Very good.
Okay.
Good quality. Good
I got to figure out.
Audio and no problems.
All right. That means, okay, so what happened here, this thing's been turned off, all right? And I keep hitting this, this desk. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I turned this all off, and this demonstrates that if you don't disconnect from the talk group that you were on earlier, it will automatically, it's called auto static, it will set up until you can hit the disconnect. And it's on talk group 91, which is a very active talk group and is virtually impossible to disconnect from. You can try, but you got to find a gap in the...
I'm 84, so yep. I'm 1 year older than you.
But I'm going to show you, this actually is a good way to segue to what I'm going to talk to you about right now, because we're going to set up a Brandmeister password.
I know what you mean.
Yep. It's pretty active. Yeah. Worldwide, it's lit up all day long. So if you guys, there's a lot of people there, and again, back to what we talked about last time we did the live stream. I mean, I now can see who's talking. I can now see who their call sign. I can see where they're from. So it's pretty cool. So, and that's because I put that contact list in the radio. And trying to get in there and deactivate that's tough. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a new tab. And we're going to go to Brandmeister. Because I can't get in edgewise on that call. Yeah. Try to disconnect and it won't because I can't get in there. There's too many people talking. Okay, so I want to go up here to log in. Go to brandmeister.network. Okay, and by the way, I've never set up a login, and this is something that you guys will probably want to do because this is going to allow for you to do a lot of neat things with your hotspot. And one of the things that I thought was really cool. And we're not going to be able to do this today, but you can schedule your hotspot to join a specific talk group at a certain time. Okay, and that's in this self-care feature that they have. So I'm not a member, and I think there'll be a lag for what we're going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead, in other words, I won't be able to just get a login. I think it takes a day or so, but I'm going to go ahead and type in my call sign, my email address. This is a personal account. I'll set me up a password here. Okay. What is the wavelength of the UHF band in centimeters? I think that's 70. 70. DMR ID. I don't remember. Let's see, what am I? I am, I'll just cut and paste that. And I'm not a robot. Oh boy, parking meters. I think that's one, that's one, that's one. I don't see any more. Register. Registration error. The user already exists. Please log in and reset your password. Oh, I don't remember ever doing this. Okay, so we want to, I'll just go over here to log in. Anyway, this is what you want to do. You want to get a login. I'll just say forgot my password because I don't know what it is. Link has been set. Okay, I'll use my phone here. Okay. Okay, I got a link here. I'm going to just do my phone because this is all right. I'm going to set a password right here on the phone. Sorry about this. Okay, so I got that. So I'm going to log in now, I hope. Oh my gosh. What? Traffic lights. There's one, there's one. I don't see a crosswalk. Okay, I guess I'm in. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So, yeah, this is where you can customize your hotspot experience with the with your account. Okay, so there I am, and I'm clicking on it, and I believe I can reset the connection. If I drop the call, I can go in here, and I believe that's going to cut it off. Let's see. I don't know if that's not working.
Right now I'm in the high.
Okay, yeah. I just ended it. So that was effectively my disconnect. So I should be able to go in now to the Parrot KC0QVT, Oh, it thinks I'm on worldwide still.
Understand thunderstorm.
All right, I'm going to end this.
This is Fred, Frank Robert Echo Delta, here in southeast Missouri.
We're live, folks.
A little bit of a storm left.
Okay, there, it dropped it. Now, did I make a mistake in this Parrot? Let me look at this thing. I wonder if I got, by importing that code plug, I wonder if I messed up. Let me look at my channels again. I bet I did. Let's look at the Parrot. Okay, yeah, this is the Parrot is worldwide. So I think when I imported that talk group list, because I had redone it, I'm actually, the alpha tag's wrong. So I need to change that. That's what's going on. I wasn't hitting the Parrot, I was hitting worldwide because I overrode an existing, yeah, so those were wrong. That's what's going on. So here's worldwide. Let's see what it thinks it is. Okay, it's worldwide. Texas, let's see what it thinks it is. Okay, it thinks it's worldwide, so I need to change that to Texas. So here's an on-the-fly bug for me. I didn't go back and verify that everything was in agreement because I imported this code plug, or this talk group list, over some work I'd done in the past. Okay, so I've got the disconnect here. And you know what? I could have seen the contact stuff over here. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so I know the disconnect. I know that's 4,000. Let's see if there's TG 4,000. It's probably going to be under disconnect. I got to find that well, I can go, I'll show you. I'll go over here and I'll look at the contacts. Whoops, I'll cancel this and I know it's 4,000. So let me go up here and look at this. And let's see what they call the disconnect. Okay, so it's called, and it's not in here. Maybe it's at the bottom. Whoops. I'm looking for the disconnect talk group. I know it's fourth. See the TGR DMR ID. I'm looking for 4,000. It should be sequential in here. See, this is something, you know, when you import a code plug or a talk group list, all these terms are interchangeable. I can understand why we all get messed up. Talk groups, code plugs, contact lists, you know, it can be overwhelming. Okay, so I'm expecting it to be 4,000 here, and I don't see it. So I'll just create a new one because I don't know where it's at in this list, and I don't want to take up all day trying to figure that out. So I'll just go down here to the bottom, and I'm gonna make a disconnect. Okay, I'm just gonna call it TG. See, this is how this is how you work. We're all on this journey together, folks, and we're at just different stages. And I know this is 4,000. Okay, and I'm going to then go modify my channels. Okay, and then I'm going to go click this. So I know this is all alphabetical. So I got supposed to be. Okay, TG disk, there it is. Okay, so Parrot, worldwide, Texas, Kansas. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the radio and program it. Dan, I've always set it up as group. Dan asked, shouldn't disconnect be private, not group? I've set it up as a group call, and that seems to have worked. And I do appreciate you guys' feedback. And yes, Parrot should be private, not a group, and it is I believe it is a private call in here. And I'm going to find out. Okay, so the SkyBridge is working. And I'm going to go over here to my self-care because I'm on talk group 91, which is very difficult to disconnect because it's always busy. So I'm going to go ahead and select drop call. And it dropped it. And I'm going to go over here and look on. Let's see. What? Let me turn it off. Okay, pick me up. That's transmitting. It's transmitting. It's still on worldwide. I want to drop this call.
I will say 732, my friend. Hope to catch you down the log. 6.
Okay. I'm dropped. Slot 2. Okay, I'm no longer transmitting. And now I should be able to hit the Parrot. KC0QVT. Okay. KC0QVT. KC0QVT.
KC0QVT.
Okay, it finally got it. So, all right, so I've cleared out the it's still thinking there's, yeah, so if I could, all right, so I think I know what's going on. This static, if I move this here, I don't know if, all right. Okay, so I'm going to try to, okay, what I'm trying, kind of, just bear with me, folks. Anyway, with this, this is just the start of this thing. Going in here to Brandmeister and setting up some information. I'm not going to get much into this today because this is a long study, but next week we're going to dive into this. But I just wanted to briefly just show you, you know, how to import a talk group list or go fetch one and get a bunch of context to save you a bunch of time. Okay, and then also I wanted you to be able to go into a Brandmeister account and then see what's possible as far as, you know, managing your radio. And we're going to get into that next week because one of the things that I think is cool is I get these Facebook messages coming up in my feed about a big net that takes place every week or so. And, you know, we sometimes forget, well, if I got my hotspot on, I can actually set this thing up to where it'll schedule this connection to that net or that talk group so I can listen to this net on my radio and it'll do it all automatically. And that's something I'd like to try because really, the hotspot is driven by you, but you could set it up to where it'll schedule its setup to other talk groups so that you can then participate. It's because you might forget. So that's something I want to explore next time when we meet. But anyway, I'm 40 minutes into the conversation here. But again, radioid.net, go to get your DMR ID. You got Brandmeister, you got TGIF, you've got DMR Plus, a whole pile of talk groups for all kinds of discussions. You've got various countries, states, regions, and they're like a railroad you can go and drive your train on, which is your hotspot. So you can go on this railroad, this one, and then whatever you want to make if you ever want to get into making repeaters and putting them all over the place. But you can usually run with you got to have a network or a backbone of computers that allow for the routing of the calls, and that's what these things are called. So got some questions?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you have a given talk group on 2 different time slots, do you suggest that they be set up as 2 different channels with the same talk group?
I think it depends on it. Well, if you're talking through a repeater, I think your repeater trustee is going to want you to be on specific talk groups, or I'm sorry, specific time slots. With the hotspot, it defaults, as we see over here. You can go into computer. It's going to be on, I believe, time slot. I think it's time slot 1. Go to the dashboard here. Yeah, time slot 2. I'm sorry, time slot 2. Okay. So on a hotspot, one of your time slots is disabled. Okay, because it's a simplex device, and it just doesn't have the. Well, at least the one we have here, it's only on 1 time slot. So, and this, of course, has got the gateway activity. You guys can see a lot of what's going on. It looks like there's some new members added that I haven't, when you see a number there, that means the contact list that I have is out of date already. So, a lot of metrics on this sheet, this dashboard. And once we get into the Brandmeister connection, we can start taking advantage of the linking that these 2 pieces of software have with one another. So in the configuration page, and I'll just pop over there real quick, you can go down here and you're going to see this URL, okay? And right now, this is the default URL, and we don't change that because we don't know what your URL is. But this, if you go to the other site on your general settings, this is where you would set up your information, and then you'd copy this website URL into this field right here. Okay, and I'm not going to get into that today, but that's where you can start adding a lot more functionality to your experience and going back. But this is hopefully the tip of the iceberg. I tell you, this thing can get pretty crazy, and I don't know. There's a lot of guys that know a lot more about this than I do, but I want to create an experience for you guys so that you can come here and we can all learn this together. Yeah, somebody's asking, can we discuss BER, percentage, packet loss, etc. BER stands for bit error rate. When you get into the digital world, you start talking about bits. Not all the bits get passed from one point to the other, and so there's some error. And when you go and look at your, you go to your dashboard, you can see this functionality. Like right here, you got loss, bit error rate. I mean, these are really good calls. When you've got 0% loss and 0% bit error rate, that means there's not all the data, the voice data got transmitted from point to point. And when you've got these numbers in the red or the orange or the green, that means that kind of gives you an idea what's going on. This, and you often heard people sounding digital, or they got marbles in their mouth or something like that when they're talking. That's probably because of some loss and stuff in the bit, and they have maybe an unstable internet connection or one that's not that good. Anyway, I see our friend Craig. He's back. That's great. Craig, how you doing? I didn't know 310997 is the group Parrot for Brandmeister. I thought it was 9990. And I can go here real quick. Let's just go to Brandmeister talk groups. It might be that both of them work. So I'll see, I can click on this. Yeah. So I was going off. This is the, okay, this is 1,573 available talk groups at the time of this video. Okay. And these are all the ones that are available. So if I scroll on down, okay, talk group 9900 is the Parrot, and you say 310997, maybe that's there too. Let's see, 310. That's way down there. We're 3109. Okay, it's down there too. So there's two Parrots, I guess. All right. Did not know that. I don't know how. I honestly don't know how each one of them works. I wonder if one's for. I mean, they both might. The 9990 parroted. So I've never tried this one. So looks like there's two Parrot talk groups, and I don't know why. So, oh, it's a group call. All right. Okay, that makes sense. The 9990 is private. Thanks, Craig. Okay. Well, I've set it up as a private call, knowing that. So, anyway, yeah. Okay, cool. But anyway, I'm going to quickly review and then wrap it up, folks. RadioID.net, get you a DMR ID. Join the fun. It's great. This is really blown up ham radio. I mean, there are so many new people getting into this, and we're glad we're a part of it. I mean, we're just dealing with DMR right now. But there's these things will work D-Star. They'll work on the other networks as well. YSF, they do that. So, but we're working with DMR today and probably for a while. So, Brandmeister, massive network. Talk groups, there's a list right here. I'm showing it to you on your computer. I exported I got the list on our website of a lot of those talk groups. It's probably not up to date, but that is, what you're seeing right here and what I downloaded and put into the CPS and then put in the radio is a copy effectively of this list. And each one of these networks have a talk group list, and they might be similar, but they might not be. So you want to make sure you've got a talk group list for your specific network. And the rabbit hole goes very deep. So you can go from here, you can play on this network, you can play on this network, a bunch of private networks. So we're just getting started, folks. So if anybody has any more questions, I'll wrap it up. But let's see.
You want to mention the sale we got going on?
Okay. Yeah, we just want to let you guys know, Happy Veterans Day to you guys in the United States. And we're thankful for what you've done. I know my dad was in the military. My brother was. I got two grandparents that were in the military, and my father-in-law was as well, and I'm grateful for what we have in the United States. So anyway, Happy Veterans Day to you guys if you've served. And we're running a sale. Goes all day until midnight. And check our front page of our website out for all those details. And yeah, Happy Veterans Day. So I think we're done, guys. Well, 7-3.